Hello, and welcome to our afternoon report from the Südostlink construction site. It is Monday, August 18th, just before 4 p.m., and the excitement of this morning is still in the air. The breakthrough is complete, an incredible moment for the entire team and a huge milestone for the project. We saw the drill head emerge into the daylight after its long journey through the granite, a triumph of technology and precision. But anyone who thinks the team is sitting back and relaxing now is mistaken. On a construction site of this scale, one phase flows seamlessly into the next, and as soon as one step is successfully completed, preparations for the next begin immediately. And that is exactly what we are observing now. At the center of it all is our protagonist, the massive Ditch Witch AT40. But today isn't about drilling. It's about something that might seem trivial at first glance but is, in reality, an art form in itself, maneuvering. In the next few minutes, we want to take a look at what it means to move such a machine, the challenges involved, and the incredible skill required. Because what we are seeing here is far more than just driving from A to B. It is a high-precision, choreographed ballet of steel and hydraulics. You might be asking yourself, what's the big deal about maneuvering? Well, we are not talking about a car. The Ditch Witch AT40 weighs over 15 tons. That's the weight of about 10 mid-size cars. Every movement of this colossus must be carefully planned. The first major challenge is the ground. A construction site is not a parking lot. The soil is soft, uneven, and yielding. Driving carelessly here could cause the machine to sink, get stuck, or even tilt. That's why you often see special mats or steel plates being laid out to distribute the immense weight over a larger area and create a stable path. The second challenge is the tracks. A tracked undercarriage offers enormous traction and off-road capability, but it is also significantly harder to maneuver than wheels. Zero-point turns, as we might see here, put immense stress on both the machine and the ground. The operator must perfectly balance the power of the two tracks to steer precisely, while also protecting the ground. Every jolt, every sudden movement is avoided. Everything flows slowly and controlled. And that brings us to the crucial factor in this maneuver, the human. In the cabin sits not just a driver, but a highly specialized machine operator. He controls this giant not with a steering wheel, but with a complex array of joysticks and levers. He must not only know the machine perfectly, but also possess an incredible amount of finesse. He feels every tilt, hears every change in the sound of the engine and hydraulics. He is one with his machine. But he does not work alone. Do you see the man on the ground? That is the spotter. He is the operator's eyes and ears outside the cabin. They communicate continuously via hand signals or radio. The spotter checks the distance to obstacles, monitors the ground, and gives the crucial commands for the final, centimeter-precise adjustments. It is a perfect example of teamwork, where blind trust and clear communication determine success. So, what we are witnessing live is the process of repositioning for the next major task. After the pilot bore is complete, the machine must now be aligned to pull the drill string back. The so-called reamer will then be attached to this string to expand the borehole to the target diameter of 50 centimeters. For this, the ditch witch must be positioned in perfect alignment with the borehole. A deviation of just a few centimeters could lead to uneven stress on the drill string and the machine. We see the machine moving now at a crawl. Slowly, almost deliberately. The engine hums at a constant, low frequency. The operator makes small corrections. The tracks crunch quietly. The spotter walks backward in front of the machine, his gaze fixed on the tracks and the target point. It is a process that demands absolute concentration from everyone involved. Everyone here knows the forces at play and the responsibility they carry. And there it is. The Ditch Witch AT40 has reached its new position, perfectly aligned for the next step. The maneuvering is complete. What was a fascinating 10-minute spectacle for us is routine for the team here, a highly professional routine that forms the foundation for the project's success. It impressively shows that on a high-tech construction site like this, it's not just the spectacular act of drilling that is crucial, but also the inconspicuous but masterful precision in the steps in between. In our next report, we will show you how the reamer is mounted and how the second act of this undercrossing begins, the expansion of the borehole. So, it remains incredibly exciting. Thank you for joining us again this afternoon. If you enjoyed this insight into the details of construction work, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to not miss our daily reports. Until tomorrow, from here at Südostlink. you.